All right, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring your attention back again towards our next session. And this is all about investing in retail, weighing your options, putting your money where the worth is. A very dynamic panel discussion coming your way. So let's quickly get it started. This session will be spearheaded by Saurabh Shaddal, Managing Director, Capital Markets, Cushman and Wakefield. And I'd like to please invite Saurabh on stage. Joining him, may I also please invite Mukesh Kumar, CEO, Quest Properties India Limited, Vikram Gawande, Investment Team, Bloom Ventures. May I also please invite Shibu Phillips, Director, Shopping Malls, Lulu Group India. May I further invite Arvind Meyer, CEO, Secure Parking Solutions Private Limited. And I'd like to also invite Salil Kumar, Director, CRC Group, and Ankit Chabra, Head of Retail, SPR India. So let's have all of our speakers on the stage, please. If I could please request everyone to take your seats. Let me also inform you, another interesting session coming your way. Let's have all of your attention. I'd like to urge everyone to please take your seats. Let me quickly hand over the proceedings to Mr. Saurabh. Over to you then.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon to my fellow panelists. And I think we are stopping in between the lunch and now, so I'm sure. So the topic today is investing in retail and weighing the options, and as we say, putting money where the worth is. So we'll put up some numbers and then request the fellow panelists to give their thoughts on some of the questions which will come in. So obviously we all know pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, retail has seen a humongous growth in India in the last 8-10 years, especially from a organized real estate perspective, retail perspective. Now, India post-pandemic, with what happened in US retail and some of the other stuff, India is seen as one of the very, future markets for a lot of investors, foreign direct money investors to invest in India, both sides as far as real estate or retailer side. So what we understand, India currently is the fourth largest retail market by revenue in the world. And India coincidentally in 2021 was ranked number 2 in the Global Retail Development Index. And also, retail accounts for around 10% of our GDP. So roughly around 350 billion US now, and around 8% of the workforce in India. So a solid number as far as India's current GDP and the workforce. And this is what everyone is talking. So, and what we see that this 35 million, which is taken around 75 years, will grow by additional 25 million workforce. So it will become a 60 million workforce by 2030. So a massive growth as far as workforce is concerned. Currently, from an organized retail, we are seeing around 120 million square foot of retail between high street and malls and everything. And Delhi and Mumbai takes the land share. And within the retailer, we have seen that, food and grocery, apparel and footwear, and consumer electronics are the top, with 63%, 9% and 7% of the retail market share. From a sales volume perspective, in 2022, retail segment saw roughly around 52 billion US as far as the total sales volume, which is expected to grow to 136 billion US by 2028. So again, a CAGR of roughly around 17-18%, which we have seen traditionally 11-12% kind of a CAGR. So the CAGR, which was traditionally 11-12%, is going to grow to 17-18% in the next 5, 6, 7 years. So that's again a massive upliftment. As far as e-commerce is concerned, so I think now we should put the rest that there is a competition between online and offline. They both have found their own space, and I think both will coexist and survive very well, and not only survive, we are seeing tremendous growth in both the sides. So even from an e-commerce, which was roughly around 55 billion US in GMV by 2021, we expect this GMV by 2030 to grow to 350 billion US. So in the next 7 years, it was 55 in 21, expecting around 75 now. So we will again a CAGR of roughly 40% in the e-commerce GMV in the next 7-8 years, which is again massive. Again in 2006, government brought in the FDI in retail segment, where you can invest 100% FDI in single stores and 51% in multi-brand stores. So again, that has gotten a lot of FDI into the retailer side as well. And again, global investors like long-term investors like ADIA, which is a sovereign capital, CPPIB, which is a Canadian pension fund, GIC, which is again Singaporean-based, sovereign fund. They all are investing big in the retail side. You also must have experienced now in this year, May, Blackstone's retail segment called Nexus Malls. They listed themselves and with an IPO of 3,200 crores and got fully subscribed. They opened at around 102 rupees and today it is trading at 121. So in 5 months or 6 months, the return is more than 30%. So again, massive upliftment that gives a great understanding about how the investors are seeing the retail market. So given the way India is positioned, and then again the larger picture of India becoming from a 3.5 trillion economy to a 10 trillion economy. Currently people's per capita income is 2,500 US, which is set to grow to 5,000 US by 2030. And we have seen any economy which is going beyond 2,000 on per capita income. There is discretionary expenditure, what individuals do. And that is what we are seeing in the last 1-2 years in the retail side as well. So given all this, I would like to take this opportunity that we see tremendous opportunity for attracting capital, tremendous opportunity in people's spend, and that's the growth story in the next 8-10 years in the retail sector. So given that in mind, I'll start with Vikram. Given that you have been an active investor in the e-commerce startups like Spinny, Cashify, Pitstop. India in the last few years has seen a lot of plethora of retailers, both physical and e-commerce, enter into this segment of retailing. Which are the areas in retail you see still untapped and vast potential going forward?
Yeah, so I would like to break the retail market in what are the parts of the puzzle, right? There is a buyer, there is a seller, there is a product, there is a buying experience, and there is the flow of products, how they happen. Now, in each of these pieces of the puzzle, there are many unsolved problems, and there is a huge opportunity in our minds to be solved. So if you look at a consumer today who is the buyer, he today probably has a broken personalized experience. What I mean by that, I got an ad on Facebook. Now I want that product, I click on it, I go to, let's say, Flipkart, but I drop off there. I find something on, let's say, Tata New. I walk into a Tata Croma store. That experience is not seamless. Ideally, what should happen is that I browse something on Croma online, I go into a Croma store, the sales agent knows what I want, takes me to that section, I buy it, Tata Croma installation team comes in, and this is a seamless experience. Today it's broken. So that's one example. Now if you look on the seller side, which are brands or retailers, I think unlike the West, we haven't spent a lot of money on automation. So for example, we have a company called Grey Orange Robotics, which works with the likes of Walmart and stuff in the US, which essentially increases the warehouse productivity by as high as 40-50%. robots move stuff from here to there till the delivery van, right? The third piece, of course, around products. What are the right kind of products for the consumer? This entire D2C revolution over last 6 to 7 years was that. But I think there is still huge opportunity to be solved over there. And as we were chatting, a great example is Lenskart. I mean, it's not in our portfolio, but 10 years back, everybody would say, I buy one specs, I replace it once in 4-5 years. They have changed the category. Now, on an average, everybody in this room would own 2 specs. And the beauty that Lenskart has done, that they don't just sell, but they also manufacture. So in retail, if you look at the 3.5 trillion, overall retail is about 65%, which is 1.9 trillion. And half of that is facing the consumer, half is manufacturing. Lenskart straddles in both. So I think increasingly India would move towards full stack models because there you can control the experience what the consumer gets. So that's on this side. But other few pieces which are huge opportunities. You talked about the manpower that would come into this is 60 million. But do we have skilling schools which can create great world-class salesmen, floor managers, cashiers? We don't have them. So it's a huge opportunity. So in an allied sector in healthcare, we have a company called Virohan, which just trains phlebotomists, nurses, and so on. It's doing phenomenally well. And the last piece, from a climate perspective, I think a lot has to happen globally, like reusable packaging, net zero, carbon emissions, and so on. Not just because it's the buzzword, but I think we owe it to the next generations. So those are the 4 or 5 themes which I think are still unsolved in retail.
Sure. I think that provides a lot of opportunity for investors to come in and look at a growth. So I'll look at, Mukesh ji, you have been in with Infinity for long in Mumbai and West India, and now you have moved towards the eastern part of India with Quest Properties. So, with your experience of 2 decades in the western region, and now you have gone there. So what do you see the key characteristics, what sets apart the eastern retail market from the west or from other side, from a perspective of the consumer preferences, affinity, the brands, luxury brands and everything? What's your experience now?
It was definitely a huge change moving from Mumbai to Calcutta, personally for me. Though I have worked in the market for a year earlier, so I knew what I'm getting into. So that's a personal...
People generally move to Calcutta for food.
No, I think the right is to move there, Calcutta. It's a good place to be in. See, there's one problem, not only Calcutta, the eastern part, not able to really attract the larger players. If you look at states like West Bengal, Jharkhand, Bihar, Odisha, or Northeast, we are not able to get any national player to set up malls there. So that's a problem, that's a challenge. I think first one is just been announced by Phoenix, they're opening one in Calcutta. And if you look at the total footprint of all malls put together, is maybe hardly 20 million square feet, all put together, all states put together, which is just 4% of total footprint what you have in the country today. So it's a starved market. The market needs larger footprint of malls there. And the good news is that the local players, they are willing to put in the hat, they want to build more malls there. As far as the consumers are concerned, they behave very similarly the way they behave in any other market. They're also looking for new brand, they're looking for, their aspirations are still there. And fortunately, what pandemic has done, that is opened up the larger market. So even the brands they know, there's a consumer sitting somewhere in Imphal or Shillong or somewhere, they also need this kind of brands. So there's a huge opportunity for retailers to be there. If you look at Calcutta market, we have hardly 2 million square feet, 2.5 million square feet in the city, which can definitely take another 2.5 million because there are enough retailers which the malls getting upgraded further. Like for example, Quest Mall, we are upgrading it to a different level altogether. We had only BTR, Bistro Luxury in the ground floor. Now we're trying to get only luxury brands in the ground floor. So what happens, the BTR will go to the first floor, first will go to the second. second will go to third, and somebody eventually have to make place. What happens? So these guys, they move out. But there's a market there. That means they have enough opportunity to set up another center there. So as far as the consumers are concerned, there's a big market there. There is money, there is disposable income there. And Calcutta as a market also services entire Northeast, Bangladesh, Nepal, and of course the neighboring states as well. We are sitting in a good position as far as the Quest Mall is concerned, in a good position because that's the only luxury mall in the entire Northeast and the eastern part of the country. So there is a market there. So I encourage the lots of national players like Lulu's, Phoenix, and Orbit, Nexus to set up malls there because there's a huge market and you'll not be disappointed there. If you look at the trading density, Quest may be number 4 or number 5 in the entire country in terms of per square foot sale. South City also may not be like Ibia, they also must be at least one in first top 15 or 20 in terms of per square foot sale. So there is money there. And there are consumers there. They are looking at more options there. Like there are not too many FECs there. F&B just getting created now. So again, we are looking at FEC center getting established in the city or again in and around. So currently, it's all occupied by the local players and local developers, but you need to have more national players there.
Sure. That's I think that's a good way forward. So as you said, you're looking for Lulu to invest in Calcutta. So I'll move towards Shibu. And, Shibu, obviously you have been very strong in southern market and especially in Kerala. And you all have started growing now. You have invested in Lucknow and Bangalore is soon to be, and then you soon to have an operation mall in Hyderabad as well. So your footprint is going still a little bit more south, but I'm sure you'll move to other cities. But my question to you is, do you think that tier 2 cities are largely driven by value retailing segments like hypermarkets, supermarkets, and a bit more on tier 2 because you have been, fairly active in Kerala and other places in the tier 2 markets. And why I asked about hypermarkets because that's the mainstay of Lulu, right? So, and across cities. And firms are focusing a lot on this segment. So what's your view, on hypermarkets, tier 2 cities? I'm sure, all of us, so some data which we were just chatting before we came in here was mind-boggling to me. So if you can share with the larger audience here, which would really, really help. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. So basically, there is, when you say this tier 2 city, but then you have to understand that many of the best markets today for fashion, like Chandigarh, all come in this tier 2 cities. And some of the data which I was telling you is, in tier 2 cities, the market is growing at an average of around 12 to 14%. And in the last 10 years, there's a 35% growth in the number of shopping malls which is opened in tier 2 cities. And also something which we were also, when I was looking at this data, I said that the consumption is grown 4.3 times, and that's what they're expecting, that in tier 2 city, more than urban. Urban is only around 3.5 times, but the consumption is going to grow 4.3 times in the tier 2 cities. And there are around 140 cities in tier 2. So there's a lot of market which many people can go and explore. And also something which we were looking at is that by 2013 there are 140 million middle class going to come into that middle class segment, and for 21 million coming in the premium segment. So when these are all coming up, this is happening. Why tier 2 city is becoming thing is that when the COVID came in, and when people were offered this option of work from home, everyone lapped onto it. Why? Because when you work in a tier 2 city, the cost of living is less, the work-life balance is better, the housing is better, cheap. So there's a lot of investment coming into real estate. People are making good houses and suitable for this. So all of this is helping people to spend a lot of time and money into retail. Something more I want to tell you is that in online, average tier 2 consumer is spending around 2.5 hours to purchase online. the average money spent by a tier 2 customer is 21,400, and Bombay spends around 24,000. So that's the type of money people are spending. And if you look at the type of if you look what if do people buy premium fashion in any shopping mall in tier 2 city? If it's a good mall, you will see premium fashion taking around 30% of the space, and people are buying it now. Obviously, Lulu is a hypermarket retailer. We run 250 hypermarkets in the Middle East, so obviously that's our strength. And our hypermarkets, when we put in any shopping mall, it's more experience driven. And data shows that 31% of the customers do come back and shop with you because they're delighted with the experience. Today's customer is asking, obviously if you have an hypermarket which does a lot of hyper digitalization, and then through virtual and augmented reality, you can show the consumer, or you have a lot of customization happening with respect to the data you have. And, like he said, sustainability. A lot of consumers are looking at how sustainable are you. So if all of that is in place and you are able to manage your backend and give the best product at the best price, consumers will come back. And as the data I spoke just now, there's a lot of premium retailing also happening. I'm not saying that the entire tier 2 city is ready like that, but there are cities who are ready already, and there are cities who are coming to it. E-commerce helped every consumer understand every brand available worldwide or get it, because now if you look at the data of Amazon or Flipkart, every pin code is now mapped and covered, and everything can be available. Coming to the question that will people keep coming to shop at the hypermarket, we see that if you have an amazing experience of shopping in hypermarket, people will come. Whether it is a 10-minute Insta Mart available, people will come to have the larger experience when they have time. And in tier 2 cities, because of the better urban infrastructure that the government is creating, it is possible for people to travel. And in tier 2 cities, what happens is, unlike Mumbai, where the travel distance is very limited, in Kerala, people travel right from Trivandrum to Kochi, or Kozhikode to Kochi. It's a 3 hours drive, and people have no problem in driving because the infrastructure is amazing. So that's the amount of consumers. In Kochi Lulu Mall, we get an average of around 2 million customers every month. And we are open for the last 11 years, and this is happening. Our trading densities are one of the highest in the country. So basically, there is nothing called tier 2 city if the infrastructure is growing, and the government is actually playing a very important job in that.
Sure. So what I'm gathering from you is, obviously, the story is good. Tier 2 city there are 140, but if you have a good strategy, you start with few and then keep adding. The consumption story is strong. In Mumbai is 24,000. The tier 2 city is 21,000, which is massive, because I think the profitability will be more for the operator to go there, because the margins are better. And then again, you are saying, I also feel that retail is all about experience, right? It's not a real estate play. So
something I want to just add here. For any store in a tier 2 city, normally everywhere else will be 10%. Online retail sales in tier 2 cities 20%. So most of the stores have 20% contribution to sales through online.
Wow. So adding there, I also saw, Ankit, my question is to you, is your SPR retail center, which is known as Mall of Madras.
Thank you.
Is set to coexist alongside a substantial B2B market there.
Right.
And while this concept have thrived in certain nations, it is not seen in Indian markets till
Absolutely.
now. And that too at such a significant scale of 1.2 million square foot, and all that luxury residential development and everything which you all are doing. So what do you think, what advantages can be brought to both customers and developers? What they expect out of this synergy?
So, Saurabh, thank you for asking this. I think we've been debating this thing internally and externally as well a lot in the last 1 year. Look, from our perspective, from our company's perspective, we don't, what are markets? The marketplace, we see it as jungle, right? And it's got a similar elements. Like when you are in a jungle, it is not for one animal, right? You have lions and wolves and all that bit happens. And they all have space for each other. You'll never see one jungle having one animal. It will not survive. So from our perspective, and what do? Actually, they all talk about survival every day and growing. Market is also very similar, right? You've got all kind of players. You've got traders, you've got CNF agents, you've got retailers, all looking forward to interact with consumer, trying to survive, and of course to grow. Only is the experience is a little different when you're talking about a trader or a retailer. The idea of doing this Mammoth Center was just to upscale the entire experience, not just for the retailer who's lived their life in all the grade A malls, but when you travel internationally, you see all these upgradations happening for the trade hubs as well, which unfortunately has not been seen in India. So that was the backbone of the entire development. Every center has its own merits and challenges. We also have challenges a little later. I'll just talk about the merits if you ask me. In such kind of centers, there are three main elements. One is your consumer, which is the king. Second is the retailer, which is coming up. And third, us, being the developer. So from consumer perspective, when I see this particular larger space and integration, of course, they're getting a better range. So once you have got a better range, I'm sure they'll get a better price as well. Of course, there'll be a lot of competition. And I feel having a trade around retail, you'll have a lot more people coming in from Monday to Friday, who today are actually looking forward from the busy schedules, only coming on Saturday and Sunday. And that integration will work well. So this is consumer. If you see the retailer part, additional walk-in. Extra walk-in means extra money. That's a simple maths rule for retailers. So that's a plus. When we synergize the services, there's a lot of saving which we are seeing. I'm sure that particular saving going to be passed to whom? Today I charge CAM to the retailers, right? If my CAM costs are going down, it's only working for them. And when I look at myself, we've got now more options to market it. Earlier we do a lot of marketing events in our atriums. We've got a huge common space of almost 1 lakh square feet in the center, which integrates the B2B and the B2C, the retail and the wholesale component. Now, not just us and the retailers who've been doing it conventionally, I feel you'll have a lot of traders who are going to come and a lot of companies who will come, who will launch their product. A few days ago, I was in Pune, and you'll be surprised, I was trying to buy a cell phone, and I asked the dealers, where are the cell phones? The companies are not providing them to the small dealers altogether. And if you do not have a store, of course, you will not see the product, except you'll see it on the hoardings, right? So such kind of places are there where the new traders, the new businesses may be collaborating a lot. You'll see a lot of product launches. You will have public events. So they'll all build up together, which will be, working for everyone. We spoke about it, and of course, it has its own challenges. We have issues of having a major infrastructure running around. It's not an easy job. So many times we feel that, yes, there's a road access, great roads on all good sides, but handling such amount of people, ensuring that the circulation is very free is not an easy job. So we are working on it. We are cognizant of that particular issue. I also see, apart from that, services sharing and downtime. So we are working with a lot, good asset management companies, and of course, tech players are also allowed to help us out, how to address that issue. Some categories, I was speaking outside. I certainly see a lot of challenge, specifically the electronic categories where you'll see, people just flipping shops, saving 200 rupees on a cell phone. I think such kind of categories are going to be very difficult, in such kind of markets. But I think we have all lived through it. So if I take a step back and see the larger picture, how this integration will happen, it has some challenges, but it's a lot to do with win-win, rather than getting very perturbed about how the thing is going to be coexisting. It has happened in a lot of places. Asian markets are known for that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we're going to do good that way.
Sure. No, it's a very interesting concept, and all the best
Thank
to
you.
them. So staying on experiential retail and what you all are building, my question to Salilji is, you all are, in Noida, which I feel is a, people don't say it's a tier 1 market, but NCR is a tier 1 market, but Noida is definitely moving great guns, and the airport coming in there, and infrastructure wise in my mind is better than Gurgaon. But it'll come sometime there. So currently Noida is where it is. So it's in our mind it's 1.5 city. It's not tier 1 or tier 2, but I'm sure for us our scale is different. So keeping that in mind, in a maturing market like Noida, which also mind you has an enormous supply of retail, right? How a mixed-use development which you all are doing can differentiate, staying on the experiential retail, and then, do you think mall management, categorization, all those will play a pivoted role, and what you all are thinking in that perspective for your mixed-use development which you are coming up with?
Thank you. See, the thing is, let's come back to the Noida first. Noida is emerging as a not 1.5 city. This is upgraded extension of a city 1. Like we have a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So I call it Noida as a 1A, tier 1A, which is not only 1, it is suffixed by A category. See, most of the people from East Delhi, Bihars, Lajpat Nagar sides, or many of them from other parts of UP, they are making as a Noida their upgraded style version, because Generation X, they want better housing and integrated housing with pool, club, parking in basements, spa, walking facility, good park, convenience shopping, everything under one roof, which Noida's new housing is ready to provide. And you see in the last 1 year, many good corporate developers are coming, like Godrej, Tata, Birla, many other good developers are checking into Noida. And because of infrastructure, well-driven, very green area, good educational institutes, and of course, airport almost coming in very short while, which is one of the 4th largest airport which will be in the world. So Noida skyline is very, very shining now.
Sure.
So now even pricing in housing in the luxury segment has gone doubled in a year. So as retail also. But let me tell you, there are many supplies of retail. But at the moment, center of expressway is lying vacant for retail. 15 kilometer left, 15 kilometer right of central Noida, where I also do live. I don't have any option other than going to Mall of India. So there is a huge demand, almost another 4 to 5 lakh of housing unit, and 7 to 8 lakh of IT employees. There are so many employees are working over there. They don't have any retail market. And the way Generation X, they do not go to Sadar Bazaar, they do not go to Chavri Bazaar, etc. We have an enormous potential, number one. Number two, coming to experiential retail, that is the need of Generation X. So my project, the flagship, is part of the new experiment, which is experiential retail. It's integrated mixed-use development with a 7-star hospitality chain is already checking in. Then we have a high street, we have a air-conditioned street. We have a very nice high street with water body and everything we are developing. We have a 1 acre of around arrival area. We have a 4 acre of green area embedded with a screen to watch IPL, football matches, with lounges, pubs, everything, with many water bodies. There is a good lot of experience, indoor, outdoor, green experience, arrival experience. And that's not only, we are planning 100% valet parking. Nobody should go to basement. That's the kind of we are planning future. In my last project, of course, that was an office project. I did that experiment that nobody should go to basement. Everybody should have lobby experiment. That was appreciated by everyone very much. So that is how I resulted in 100% valet experiments. if someone wants to go to the top floor lounges at night normally when mall closes, so we have a drive down to straight away to the second floor. That's kind of experience we are providing. Because like 9:30 plus, all mall is closed. So when you go from all old laser area, you don't like it. So straight away drive down to second floor. That kind of experience we are providing. So that is how new experience, which is Generation X experience. And like even Jewelry Street, we have 7 good big shops. They have a check-in, check-out from the main road only for the Jewelry Street. Because people like do that way, so we have planned that way. So that is how Noida, of course, is looking at a very buoyant market, and we are surely bullish on that.
Sure.
Thank you.
You have sold Noida well, so I'm sure you will see more people. So I think continuing with that, Arvindji, obviously my personal experience also has been that the most important aspect of a mall or a retail is the parking, where that can really make or break a retail space. So, with the growing footprints, what we are hearing and next 10 years story, where mall size is increasing, number of people are increasing, car sales are at the top, so the complexities and challenges with respect to an efficient parking management, which is very crucial for any be it the owner or the retailer, parking management system must be a key concern now. So, how do you see AI and automation helping tackling this growing issue? Because it's not going down right. So how technology going to look at that?
Thank you. We are investing a lot in technology, especially supported by artificial intelligence. And our artificial intelligence, the first part of that is license plate recognition. So there are, in the last 1 year, because of enhanced AI capabilities, we have taken 2 initiatives. The first initiative is in a large car park, which you mentioned, and now the car parks are becoming 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. This place itself has 6,000 car parks in this building. Customers, they are not many times able to find their car, especially if it's a multi-level. They forget which level, and it could be in between levels. So we now have camera-based technology which reads the number plate in real time. So if you need to find your car, you can go to a kiosk and you put in your car number and they will tell you where it is parked. Or if you download the app, if you have an app, you can even do it on your phone. So that is one initiative which has come based on technology to improve customer experience, especially when they're leaving, because that is the last experience they have. The other, technology which we've used to enhance, again, customer experience is when they come in. Now, nobody likes to wait in line before coming in. They don't want to wait 10 minutes, 20 minutes just to enter a mall. So, so what we've done is that we've done away with ticket dispensers and any manual intervention. And there is it's again camera based. The camera reads the number plate and the car can just enter the barrier open, the car leaves. And the number plate becomes your ticket. And so when you want to pay, you just, at the exit, they will read your number plate and they will tell you how much to pay. You can even pay before coming there through a QR code. You don't have to download any app, and so that is the second one. Also, we are now building up a database of customers for each mall which we operate. Overall, we have about 400,000 customers in our database, and it is mall specific, and these are confidential. So when the customer comes in, based on the number plate reading, we know who has come in, and therefore we are able to send him a message, that a promotional message, that you please visit this store, you'll get a discount, or you can have coffee, we'll give it to you free or whatever, right? And that enhances a good interplay between the customer and the retailer. And it adds value for the mall, because then they're able to direct traffic, make promotions. In fact, because of this technology, we can even send messages to customers 1 kilometer around the mall. You know, we send them messages and, you know, we can send them through, and they don't need to download any app. You can send it through the mall app or through Paytm or, you know, through the SMS. And because of this, we can also track how many times a customer visits a mall. So if a customer comes to a mall, say 5 times in a month, that information, based on that information, the mall management can reward the customer by giving a free parking the 6th time or a coffee, or, you know. So there's a lot of investment in technology to enhance customers who are coming in and leaving, because that is the first and the last point, which is extremely important.
Sure. No, that's fairly pretty good to hear. So what I'm hearing, and before we wrap up, is a lot of strength on what you all are bringing from an experience retail is concerned, because, you know, I personally also see retail more of a hospitality play rather than being a real estate asset class. And every consumer experience till the time when he comes in and goes out, that's every consumer experience makes the success of the mall. So thank you very much to the panel. And, you know, I can see that you all are excited about, like what, you know, Shibu said about tier 2, 140 cities. You know, Mukesh ji is talking about a lot of opportunity in the eastern market. You know, Vikram spoke about a lot of investment on the technology side and everything. You know, both Ankit and Salji spoke about a differentiated approach now on the larger asset, you know, Mall of Madras and the Noida Mall. So I think overall we are seeing, and with the data of investments, what is going to come to India, I see this particular sector to be one of the most, I would say, rewarding sector for an investor in India. Thank you very much.